Your favorite people. Okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
please stop it.
Yeah.
Is it
This is
recording? All right. It says that recording has now started. Let the people in the meeting know they are being recorded. You are being recorded.
Thank you. I'm being recorded with my consent.
Thank
You
you. That's
consent
good.
to being recorded. Yes.
Do you want
Okay.
me to read you the privacy policy? Do you care about that?
No, let's not read the privacy policy.
All right.
Okay. Um so this is so weird. I'm Karina. I'm from Dying Scene, and this is the nasty edition where we go into a, yeah, about the Nasty Cut festival that's happening in Copenhagen in May. And who are you?
Well, I am Andrew or Andreas. Like I go by two names apparently in Copenhagen. And I am the person that's going bankrupt because of that festival. AKA I am the one whose idea was to do this festival, and I'm also running things or co-running things with a bunch of other people in Nasty Cat Records. So this is who I am.
So how long have you been behind the label? Because it's been a few years.
It's the story of the label is quite funny. So there's this guy who plays in the Overjoyed called Leo, and I met him online, and then that was the time we were about to release the Dread and Vision EP with Hoi Poi, and I jokingly said to him like, "Do you want to release the EP on your imaginary label?" Because at that time, Nasty Cat Records was only like a fantasy of Leo. And basically, that's he suggested. Let's do it, and that's how we started. He started the label initially, and I think I joined like half a year later or a year later because I was just very interested in doing the label. And I mean, no offense, Leo, but now we've reached a point where I'm in charge.
I would say we're, no offense to Leo, but we're a few people in charge. We all have our different skill sets applying very ethically, and he's not part of the group chat. So I mean, there's
I
that
mean,
one.
no, the group chat is only for the Copenhagen people because it would be just weird. But uh, but no, I mean, we need to give Leo some credit. So Leo is doing the Nasty Cat sessions in Greece. He's running that
Hmm.
on his own. He's like filming, recording, mixing all the bands that come from the Athens scene, and that's super dope. Uh, what else? He's also helping with a lot of merch. Like he has really good connections for people making merch and stuff like that. So we use these for the label as well. So it's not like Leo's not doing anything. We make it sound like it because we like to tease him, but it's not true.
Leo, when you watch this, just know that we do love you. Um, and if you were to describe the record label and what you look for in an artist, you have to describe this to people who don't know what music is, like to people who've never heard music. How would you describe the music that you guys that Nasty Cut have under the label?
Mm, Well, up until this point, it's gonna sound very selfish, but up until this point, the best way to describe the music is music I like. So that's that has been probably the main criteria for me to see if I want to work with an artist or not. I'm just listening. I was like, oh, that sounds good. I mean, of course, you want to look at whether or not the artist is touring, and you want to make this into a relationship that help each other and not one person only doing all the work. Because I mean, it's a DIY and we're a community. That's the way I see it, at least. But if we want to put tags and labels in the music, I think the broad term would be punk. The more specific term would be indie punk or emo punk, although it's mainly towards indie. But I think everything falls under the punk umbrella. We have some folk punk releases, we have some post-hardcore releases, We have some more indie releases as well. So yeah, I mean, as long as it's good music or as long as something that me and Leo and whoever else is in the label likes it, and we are behind, we're all like up to support a certain artist, then we are down to do that. And of course, it has to fit with the scheduling. And yeah, I think last year we released quite a lot of albums. I think what, around 6 or 7, something like that. And I was quite overwhelmed. So now I'm also putting my time and my availability a lot into my considerations. I still want to help as many artists as possible, or but I think I need to put some like to hit the brakes a bit because then I'm doing like a shitty job for everyone.
We don't half-ass it at Nasty Cut. I mean,
Oh,
sometimes we do,
really?
but we try
Really? I
not
mean,
to, guys.
well,
Um,
I've only half-assed it so far, but it's worked, so it's fine.
I heard you got a very nice PR person who's very annoying and comes with all these promotion ideas, which we'll come back to, because you decided, and I don't know if you spoke to Leo. And here's the fun thing: we actually have two Leos at Nasty Cart, and
Yes.
one of them is from Forever Unclean, and then we have Leo from the Overjoyed, and how would we tell a difference between those two Leos?
Well, one is a drummer, the other is a guitarist and singer. That's a very big difference.
Yeah, that is. But
Uh, No, I mean they're both great, and I appreciate them both a lot. And yeah, I think both have helped me a lot with, especially with basically, I wouldn't say proof checking, more like aesthetic checking my ideas. Like I have some silly ideas from now and then, and now I present them these silly ideas, and they're like, "This is not cool," or "This is cool. Let's do it." And then because I feel like I sometimes have like no filter in what I'm thinking, and I have all these ideas, and then I end up being like, okay, I want to do this, and then I need someone to filter that, and that cannot be me.
no, because I was gonna say that something that I also have to learn in my position at Nasty Cut is stop coming with stupid ideas because it all sounds good. And if it works, it works.
Yeah.
But okay, yeah. Let's go back to the festival. You decided to put on a festival to celebrate Nasty Cuts
Yes.
fifth anniversary. Did you speak to Leo beforehand, or did you just think that this was a good idea? Let's just.
I think we spoke about it. It's been it's been years that been wanting to do a festival in Copenhagen since I moved. Like we actually were planning to do a festival a year before actually. We had a chance to book Dogleg with Retirement Party and one more band that I don't remember the name right now. And we wanted to build a festival around this booking because that was good. But then Dogleg pulled out, and then we were like, okay, let's just not do it anymore. So that would be 2022 actually. So we started talking about it 2021. So that would be June 2022, but then didn't happen. And then I was like, okay, 2023 is like a round anniversary or
Mm.
roundish. And then I was like, it would be a shame not to do a festival. So I think we talked about it and we agreed. And then I started contacting bands and like try to find some headlining acts in the beginning and see what we can do about it. And yes, and basically the dates where I was actually going for either these dates, 18th to
Mhm.
20th May, which is the ones that we're doing, or 5th through 7th, I think. And that's only because there is like some national holidays in Denmark on these days. And basically we end up with the 18th to 20th because Forever Clean is touring with Bimboy these days. And I was like, okay, I want you to play my festival and I want Bimboy as well, so I'm gonna book my festival around these dates. And I mean, it worked. So, but
So
if you don't
thank
like
you,
it,
Binboy and Forever Unclean.
yes, and if you don't like the dates or you can't, please direct your your negative feedback to Leo from Forever and Clean, not from me. So
Please do not contact human resources or the PR team because we don't care. But Leo from Forever Unclean does, or something. But I would say it's an impressive lineup because for a 3-day festival that's taking place at Underværket and Valby Kulturhuset, you have 20 bands. You have the 20 Belows, a band that barely, I don't think I've ever actually really seen them play. It's a rare phenomenon. And how
I think
did that happen?
I think they play like once a year in Copenhagen. I think last year they played at some sort of wedding party or something, and that's where I saw them. But they didn't play like a venue show. Uh, but long story short, we share the same practice space.
Ah,
So I also playing in a couple of bands, and two of the bands are in Copenhagen, and one of the bands is practicing the same practice space as Franklin and 20 Belows and some other bands and some other dude from Volbeat for some reason. Uh, and yeah, and Leo knows them very well. So it's basically it's Leo's booking. He was the one who contacted them and arranged everything, and then I just reached out after everything was set in stone.
mm. This that one is going to be interesting. But as you said, we have Bin Boys coming to play, which is also a very nice booking. And apart from those two that we've mentioned and Forever and Clean, there's Burnt Tapes.
Yes.
And that's also really cool. And then we have Suburban Dad Punk Dungeon Days, and we have Flame on. Yeah, shout out to those guys. I know them fairly well. Flame on, and you have again Fresh. How did that one happen? That's the one I'm curious about.
Mm, I think first I just reached out, like I sent them an email, and they were pretty stoked to play to be invited. And yeah, they were fairly easy to book. I mean, the communication was a bit slow, but I mean that's usually what happens
Hmm.
over email, so that's nothing wrong about it. But it's nice that we got them, and yeah, it was just me reaching out as the same way I reached to like 40 other bands. Some of them
Yeah,
replied, some of them didn't.
yeah. Bands that don't reply, please don't expect an email for next year's festival. And we have
I mean,
Hippie.
I will probably I will probably forget who I contacted, so if I like them, I might reach out again.
We'll call you. That's easier.
Yes.
Emails was wow. Then there's Hippie Trim from
Mm,
Germany, and I don't
yes.
think many people know them.
Yeah, and I mean, there were some people that got excited in the comments and everything when I first announced them, and that was very nice to see. Hippie Trim is a band that I think deserves more recognition in
Mhm.
Denmark or in Europe. I don't know how it is in Germany. Uh, I also rediscovered them last year, I think, and I got very hooked on their music. I really like the style of post-hardcore they're playing. And I mean, if you read what how they were how their first album turned out for them, it's quite impressive. Like they released one single,
Mhm.
and then based on that single, they had like a sold out show in their hometown. I mean, yeah, of course, it's your hometown, it's your friends and everything, but still, it's quite impressive. They got someone from Drug Church to sing on their first album. They toured with Drug Church in Europe,
Mhm.
so it's pretty wild for a first album, to be honest. But it's also a very good first album.
Yeah.
So I'm very happy that we have them coming to Copenhagen. That would be very nice.
And yay. And then we have Situationsfornærmelse, which
Yes.
is a very, would you say it's a very known, I think everyone I know, even people that don't listen to punk and stuff that we do,
Mm,
know the band. It's kind of, they're a known band. And again, how did that one come to happen? Was that also
Um,
that kind of be knowing the dude from Volbeat? Was that Leo
mm,
too?
that was, of course, Leo. Yes. Leo had a lot of connections, and because, of course, Leo has toured
Mm-hmm.
extensively with Forever and Clean, so and he was also running among other people DIY
Mm.
like a few years ago. So he was also booking very much a lot of shows of in Copenhagen. So he has connections through that. He has connections through touring. Uh, Somehow he knew Stjørsons von Nærmelse. I think because he reached out to have a dive dog session with them, which is like a streaming slash video production company he has. I think that's how he know them, and then yeah, and I don't know how known they are, but it's one of the few bands that have announced the day they're playing, and they said that they're playing on Thursday. And when they did that, I had a bump in the ticket sales for Thursday, so that also shows a few things.
Oh, definitely. They are a good band.
Yes, they're really
And
good.
I found out Saturday that I kept pronouncing this band incorrect, but they are from Italy. And this might have actually been one of the more surprising bookings that you made for the festival by going together with Murder Twins. You
Yes.
got Los Fatidos,
So,
and thank you,
mhm,
Murder Twins, for making that happen.
yes. So, yeah, basically, one day I woke up and I saw that Murder Twins had booked Los Fastidios on the Friday, on the 19th of May. And I mean, I know they played last year in Copenhagen and it went pretty well. And I was like, if I wanted to attend both the festival and that show, that would be a big bummer, honestly, because we also have a pretty huge lineup for Friday, which no one knows who's playing other than Los Fastidios. So I reached out to Murder Twins and I said, like, let's just merge and let's just bring them in as long along with the support they had booked, which is Fall Back Down from Copenhagen. And Los Fastidios also agreed on that, so it was good on all sides. And I mean, just like Murder Twins said, we're all about unity, and it's always nice to collaborate with each other and help each other out. And I still think it would be a bummer if we had both the festival and that gig going on the same day.
Yeah. Let's just say Friday's going to be very wild. So wild.
All the days
Um,
are gonna be wild, but yes, Friday is also gonna be wild.
Friday's definitely going to be wild because even though it's a bank holiday in Copenhagen on the Thursday, not everyone is off on the Friday. Most people are, but depending on your work and stuff, some people have to go to work on Friday.
Yeah.
So this works out that Friday's going to be a very big party, and then it's just going to be. I'm so happy that I'm off and cleaning.
I'm not. I'm
But
actually considering working on that Friday. Let's
don't
see.
worry. Don't worry, I'll keep the fort down for us.
No,
I'll
it's
call
fine.
you. And then we have Goodbye Blue Monday that ironically enough released a new single Monday.
No, it's actually a new album.
Was it a new album?
Oh yes,
Oh yeah.
and it's a really good album.
How have I missed this? Oh, it's not Friday yet. I'm waiting till Friday so I can turn up on my music.
That's fine.
And don't tease me. I'll go running tomorrow. I'll listen to it. But how about them? Because they weren't touring before you reached out, wasn't it like that?
No, and I think they're still not touring. But basically, I was considering them because I know the band, and I mean, Leo from Overjoyed knows them, Leo from Forever Clean knows them,
Mm.
and they're good friends and everything. And I was considering them on my own, but I was a bit worried about the number of bands that I can have at that festival. That was back when I had booked 15. So somehow we reached up like 19 to 20 bands, but it's fine. Uh, so basically, one day they just texted me.
Mm.
Sean from Goodbye Blue Monday texted the Facebook page, and he won, and I was like, yeah, I want you, but I don't know. And I was like, ah, fuck it, let's just figure it out.
And figuring it out, we will be because they are one of the bands that I'm looking forward to seeing because I have read their Instagram comments by stalking them and figuring out who they were last year. They put on some great shows from what I can read. Really great shows.
Yes, that's
And
what I heard
this
too.
and that's what you can say about Forever Unclean too. Another band that's playing, but that would be it would be weird if they weren't. We know those
Yeah.
guys. They are there. Another
Yes.
band that released their debut album in January. Wasn't it January? We
Uh,
have UMSO.
yes, that is correct. It is their first album. They had a, I mean, could call it an EP or a double single,
Mm,
couple a year ago or something. But yes, they released their latest, their first and latest album in January. That is correct, and that is also it's a band that is looking very good for them in Denmark
mm-hmm.
and hopefully in Europe too. I know they are announcing a tour soon. I'm not gonna spoil it for anyone. Uh, but yeah, we're very happy to have them. And I mean, you would say that, oh, it's all these nasty cat bands. I mean, of
Oh
course it's gonna
no.
be nasty cat bands. It's our fucking anniversary. So yes, if we end up doing the fest to next year, it's still gonna put nasty cat bands on it, but maybe
Mm,
not that many because I also agree with Forever Unclean that a band should not play the same festival 2 consecutive years. Uh, but let's see how things will turn out this time.
yeah, let's just see if Forever Unclean makes a follow up to the album that they released in 2022. And another band that we all are looking forward to. Oh, actually, there's two. We have Trophy Jump and again the Overjoyed.
Mhm, that is
That
correct.
that is some very that's a Greek band and a Croatian band. That
Yes.
is that's rare for us in Denmark to actually be visited by bands from Greece and Croatia if they don't have any ties like that. But again, yeah, sure, you could say that they have a tie here. But I also want to point out that the Overjoyed are opening for the Flatliners with
Oh
No
yeah.
Time to Waste in Lisbon.
Yes. That is absolutely crazy.
Yeah, that's a big congratulations to those guys. That's
Yeah.
amazing.
I mean, and the person who booked it. So yeah, both me and I mean, especially the guys from Overjoyed are very thankful for that booking and for the whole tour they're doing in Portugal and Spain. I think they're doing that in April or
Yeah.
something. I think they're playing Manchester Punk Festival and then they're flying from London or Manchester or wherever to Spain or Portugal to do that. I'm not sure. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm not. It doesn't matter. It's gonna be awesome for them. So yes. And I mean,
Uh,
Trophy Jump, they played before in Copenhagen. I think they we did a double release show with for Ranking and Trophy Jump, who released the
mm,
albums like with a month's difference. So that was, I think, March or April last year. It was back when we had like a small capacity at Uno Vehicle, but we still sold it out, and that was so nice. But I mean, to be completely fair, it's also Trophy Jump brought with them like 20 people from Croatia for that show, which was completely crazy. I was like, why would these people fly from Croatia? And I mean, turns out they found some really cheap tickets to Malmo and they flew to Malmo. So that was really nice.
I mean, that's awesome. Let's hope that they can bring the same people back in May. But Andrew or Andy, as some of us prefer to call you, what is what is one of your hopes for the festival? How do you want it to go? I mean, you always want it to go well, but there's also the personal ties considering everyone you know in the scene
Yeah.
and stuff like that. So How do you want to feel the Monday after the festival?
Well, the Monday after the festival, I'll be probably driving on my way to Dortmund to play also show because I'm also touring with OMSO after the festival. So,
We're talking about that one later.
uh, but let's see. Of course, I want everyone to have as much fun as they can in a safe environment for everyone. Like, I would not like anyone to feel mistreated or uncomfortable or anything, and we, of course, will take measures about that.
Hmm.
Regardless, as an organizer, I wanna treat the bands nice. I feel like I don't want the bands to feel like they're not treated nice. And I mean, of course, I want to pay them. Of course, I want to host
Mm.
them, buy food for them, and everything. Uh, yeah, that's one of my concerns, which I think is gonna go well. Uh, and then personally, I just don't want to have mental breakdown. I just feel like I'm trying to prepare myself, but it's gonna be a very stressful 3 days trying to uh keep everything under control. Of course, I mean I'm very glad to very grateful to have a team also working with me, and I'm pretty sure we're gonna get also some volunteers. We already have some. It's just a lot of things to wrap your mind around, but
Mm.
it's going well, and the closer we get, the more confident I feel about it. So that's good.
I definitely think it's gonna be one of the best shows put on in Copenhagen 2023. But
Thank
again,
you.
I'm also on the team, so it is my job to say this. But I think it's a good thing that somebody decided, even though it's stressful and everything. I think it's a very good thing that somebody decided to take something into their own hands and take inspiration from countries outside of Denmark, because do-it-yourself festivals aren't that big in Denmark. You don't see them pop up as often as you do in
No.
England, for example, or Sweden. So seeing someone actually take initiative in Denmark to do it, I think that's really, really cool.
Hmm. I think we have like some reoccurring ones. We have the Murder Twins Fest that happens yearly, and then we also have the K-Town Hardcore Fest that happens in the youth house. They happen every year, and they both of the teams and the organizers behind these are doing a fantastic job on doing the
Mm,
festivals. But I think like we were missing like a festival that is more into the indie punk
mm,
style, because both of them are either hardcore or crust punk, which is totally fine. But we also want to see, the emo bands or the indie bands or all these kind of bands.
mm. So what you're saying is you kind of want to see Nasty Cut come out and play as well. I mean, some of us like the hardcore, but most of us really love the indie punk and the emo.
Yeah, I mean, I think the festival has something for everyone. I mean, we don't
Yeah.
have crust, but then we have Los Fastidios, which is a bit more ska, a bit more oi. So you could find something an overlap with the crust people as well. Then we have a lot of hardcore,
Oh
even
yeah,
though
we
it's
do.
and so that should be something for everyone. But I mean, if it's not, that's perfectly fine. I mean, people don't have to like what we're doing as long as I'm happy, I'm okay with doing it. And if people like it, then it's better for me.
Okay, before we wrap up, how would you say? So what's the plan for Nasty Cut after the festival? I mean, not speaking festival wise, how many releases are do we look at coming from the record labels that we should keep an eye out on?
Mm, it's a good idea. I mean, festival-wise, there is people who want to play the second edition, and I don't know if I want to do a second edition already.
Maybe in
We,
5 years.
yeah, I was either thinking every 2 or every 5. I mean, if it goes well, I could see myself doing it every year, but that's not a decision that I will take now. Uh, I think we have a lot of stuff coming out in autumn, which is good for the bands. Sucks for me because having a lot of releases in a close span of time means that I will have to put more work and work on multiple fronts, and that's fine. We've done it before. I can say some names. I don't know if I should, but yes, we have Overjoyed coming out with a new EP. We have Backlows coming out with the album, I think this time.
Oh.
Uh, yeah, and we have a new band that is going to be signed soon or announced. We have decided already on that. I think that's it. Maybe my band will release something, and I mean, it's my band. I'm gonna put it on my label. You can judge me as much as you want. I don't
Why would
care.
I judge you? I'm in the label. I like
No, I
this.
mean, not you. I was talking to the theoretical listeners.
Oh,
But
yeah.
I don't know.
No.
Another idea we've been playing around with Leo from Greece is that we would like to have a celebration in Greece as well, because the scene there there is a lot of bands, there's a lot of people in the scene as well, and we feel that it would be nice to do it. We haven't put anything solid in plan yet, and it's probably gonna be mainly Greek bands, mainly because we cannot have the budget to afford international bands in Greece. We don't have all the funding options or all that stuff. It's just much harder without raising the tickets too much
Mm-hmm.
for a country that probably would not pay more than, I don't know, 50 euros or 30 euros. I mean,
Yeah.
it doesn't matter. I mean, the prices of it's we always try to keep it affordable for everyone. I feel like music should be affordable for people. That's my point of view, but I don't want to derail this topic. So yes, we're talking about making a festival in Athens. Don't start spamming us because we don't know if we're doing it, but if we are, we will reach out probably.
Yeah, I mean, I like the idea about a festival in Athens. I can't wait to do the promotion work on that one if this one goes well. I think it would make sense considering that it started in Athens, the label. I think that's a good
Cool.
idea. Will I push for this idea later? Yeah, I probably will the next week or so. Just give me
Cool.
something to do, guys.
Just
Um,
find us money.
to find us money, I'm trying. But so what would you recommend people now we have the listeners on us? Where can they go and find the tickets?
So the tickets are in this website called biletto.dk. You can find the event there, and that's the only place where you can buy the tickets. Right now we have some 3-day tickets, and then there's also tickets for each day separately. Keep in mind that there is a very limited amount for the tickets for each day, so it might make sense to get a 3-day ticket if you want to do 2 days or more. Uh, that's the only place where you can take the tickets. I don't know if we're gonna sell tickets on the day. I mean, I'm hoping for a sold out festival before that or close to sold out, so I can just say, fuck it, we're not gonna sell the last ticket, and
Mm-hmm.
that's okay. Mainly because I feel it's like an extra hassle that I don't want to deal with.
No.
Like selling tickets on the day, I would prefer if everyone who wants to come just buys the ticket beforehand. I mean, I know that we need to announce when everyone is playing, so you know when your favorite band is playing, so you can buy a ticket for that day only if you want to do that, and that's on us. It's gonna happen early in April. I mean, so just be patient. Uh, yeah, that's about it. Apart from that, just bring your bring yourself to the festival, enjoy it, and stay hydrated, please.
Yeah, please drink
And
water.
yeah, I think that's it. And
And
we're gonna make sure everyone's have a as is going to have a lot of fun. I've made like I'm making a playlist that's gonna play between sets, and it's like 12 hours long already. So we're getting there.
I have yet to add my good findings. But what about for bands that need a record label? Because you're a do-it-yourself, Nasty Cut is a
Mm,
do-it-yourself label, and a lot of bands are looking for it.
yeah.
I normally say we welcome all. Please send us the material you have. We will check it. Andrew just checked the email account for the first time in 2 years.
No, I mean
Last,
to be fair, that wasn't the email. I check the email fairly. I get notifications for the email. It was the contact form, and the contact form basically from the side, it was sending. the inquiries to like a spreadsheet somewhere in my drive. And then one day I said, "Oh, let's check it," and that was like 15 or 20 inquiries. And I was like, "Oof." Good thing is that most of them sent me an email, so I have seen them as well.
But but bands, please send your demos. We love listening to demos. We love seeing if you guys are for us. Mostly everyone's for us. Please don't send
Yeah.
pop. You will not be the next Miley Cyrus on our label.
Well, I mean, I like Miley Cyrus, so I would be down for that.
Oi! And yet we discuss about Taylor Swift. But
No,
yeah.
I mean, it's I always say that. I mean, in the bands I was in, it's like it doesn't cost anyone anything
Mhm.
to send an email. It also doesn't cost me to read it, even though sometimes I won't do it because I'm probably overwhelmed with something. So please don't be offended if I never reply. It's I'm doing a bunch of different things in my life. And this is just something I do in my free time, and I'm not getting paid, and I'm just doing for because I love doing it. Regardless, just to not go far away from the topic, please send it. But I mean, there's also like sending to labels. It's also nice to have done your research, like look at the bands of the label, look if the genres match or everything. Uh, Look if the label is doing singles or releases, because I mean, even though if you match and the label is doing like per release thing and you only want to do singles, that might not work. Anyway, long story short, send an email. It doesn't cost you anything. It doesn't cost the label anything to see it. And yeah, that's perfectly fine.
And
If
either
you
way,
send me death metal, I'm probably not gonna listen to it
no,
though.
we won't listen to it. I can tell you that. Please do not send us anything where your band name is Goat Whore. Yes, I'm looking at the actual band, Goat Whore, or
Yes.
Drenched in Blood. We will understand you. If your name is Kitty Cat, I'll actually take you for a punk band because I've seen some weird ass punk band names. But yeah. And that is Andrew talking about Nasty Cut and the festival. We want to say thank you to him.
Thank you for having me, and thank you for helping me with my festival, Karina.
Always. For people who don't know that, we're friends in real life, and this is the dream. This is the American dream, you guys, in Copenhagen.
Danish stream.
The
This is
Danish dream.
this is basically I don't know. I feel like this is like the have you seen the meme where there is a lion licking its paws and it says this is you liking your Facebook status? I mean,
Yeah.
I feel like this is sort of this interview, but it is what it is. I'm all about silly stuff, so it's super nice.
This is nasty edition. So we
Yes.
so we can speak we can be graphic on this one. You can stop recording
I
now.
mean, it's a lion. It's in nature. There's nothing wrong about it.
They have to watch themselves.
Of course. All right. I'll stop the recording.